Hello, this is Hope Roski with Central Valley Talk, Briggs on Books. I would like to welcome today author Rosemary Althoff. Rosemary, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I am delighted to be here.
I am so glad you are joining us live from New Orleans. New Orleans, I think
Yay.
I said that correctly.
It,
Anyway, one of your books, and I have been reading up on you a little bit, is your book called Hot Marble. And, really how you started in your own life as an atheist and then converted into Christianity. And your book, starting with the Hot Marble, taking the reader on a journey with some of those life experiences. And I
yes.
was hoping you could share. We'll start with the Hot Marble and lead up to your latest. But can you share with the viewers a little bit about your experience of making that change?
I started at age 13 when one beautiful summer night, I looked at the stars and I said, I don't believe in God. And I did that because mostly of my view on science. I wanted to be a scientist when I grew up, and I had read many science books, and the popular ones basically said there is no God. The universe happened without him, people evolved, it doesn't depend on him or anybody. It's just nature and physical science. And I bought into that. When I got older, I had enough trouble, like the characters in my books, to want something that could protect me. I ran into Christians who read their Bible, believed their Bible, were not judgmental. They had every stripe of people. They were between the ages of 18 and 30 something, and very vigorous. I was a student at the time at UK, and they prayed for me. And I was very adamant atheist. But one day my friend said, will you pray with me? And I was surprised, and I said yes. I didn't believe I would, but I did. Then I prayed what the Baptists call the sinner's prayer, and I don't want to go into depth on that, but basically when I was done, I was a Christian. And then my friend said, now we get to believe in the resurrection from the dead. And I go, wow, that's part of the package? It's a pretty good deal.
So from that point, when did you start? Because I'll bring these two together. When did you start your passion for writing?
I had begun wanting to be a writer when I was a small child. And I used to make up science fiction stories when I was swinging on the swing set, thinking about aliens trying to invade the earth. And I thought about stories like that all the time. And finally, I did start something in high school, but I didn't get very far until later. And so I began writing stories and sending them to publishers and not getting them back. No, thank you. Finally, I was getting better and better at writing because that's the process. And I went to a writers' conference, and a publisher looked at my book in 2022 and said, your cover is terrible, but your book is good. Talk to me later. So we talked, and she agreed to take my books on. She is a traditional publisher,
Right.
and open to what I had.
So with that, so you started this creative mind as a child, and then you've always had, it seems, a passion for writing. And then when you converted to Christianity, did that then lead you, it's kind of like one would say, did God lead you into then developing these books? And then is that where the Hot Marble first took off?
Yes, I will describe it briefly. I had gone into electrical engineering at the University of Kentucky, and I was doing fine. But early in my sophomore year, I was a Christian by then, and I started praying, and I felt that I shouldn't be an engineer, I should be something else. So I prayed, and this is so silly, a kid doing this. I stuck my finger in the school catalog and came up, landed on a class in creative writing by Wendell Berry, who is the Kentucky author and poet, nationwide known, worldwide known. He was teaching a class, and a very small 13-person class, and you had to hurry and sign up. And I ran, went to that class, signed up, and got in. And he made all the difference. It switched my thinking away from engineering into science writing.
Right.
And I have worked for publishers in science and business laws, and my graduate degree was in communication research. So I have a science background, but I've just been writing for years and learning how.
So
as
then,
far as my faith goes,
yes.
During that time of college, I wanted to learn New Testament Greek. And so a pastor over there was teaching and said, I'll meet with you once a week and we'll learn Greek. I learned Greek from him for a year and a half. And by that time I got fluent in the New Testament. And by that time I also became a Lutheran because they're very consistent on their doctrine. It's very clear. Not because I thought that was the best church in the world, but because I loved the clearness of the doctrine. And by then I married a pastor-to-be who became my husband, and we've been in the church ever since. Sometimes I have not liked the church, and my characters in the books are going to show that, but the glory behind the church is worth it.
Well, and that's very deep and so enriching. And when you take those experiences with the hot marble, can you tell the viewers a little bit about that and how it's threading into your other two as well?
Thank you. In the first book, my main character, Lewis, who is a physicist and very successful and is a young man, is an atheist. He's very committed. Things beyond his control take him, his brother, sister, and a friend to another planet. I could go on and on about the other world. It's a very earth experience, but it's not very spoiled. It's absolutely beautiful world. However, there's a war going on, and they're caught up in it. In book 2, he has Lewis, that's the cave chamber. It shows a cover with a dark man looking in the distance and in the cave.
Yes,
and
we have that up on the
chains
screen.
hanging on the walls. It's a dark place, bad place.
Yes.
Because he has so much trouble in this that he finally decides to turn to the Lord. Or finally decides there is a God and it's worth trying to believe. So that was based on my own life as a teenager. I had dangers and troubles and family problems and all kinds of things that happened that I wanted protection from. And this guy had lots of trouble in book 2. In book 3, he's home again from the planet and has post-traumatic stress syndrome and is confused, has a lovely woman he met on the planet. There he went, and they fell in love, but he's separated now, and this other girl is tempting him, trying to become his new girlfriend.
So is that going to maybe lead us into a fourth one?
It is. I'm writing a 4th book. In the
Fabulous.
4th book, my character is both a Christian and a physicist, and he's more successful than he ever was in his life. He's also getting married to his beloved that came from the planet to be with him.
Okay,
He has everything going, and he's got a mission this time. He's not just a victim of circumstances. He's got a mission. His mission is to capture the leader of the evil horned edge so that they can divert that from taking over the world and other places.
Wow,
He's also developing time travel.
it sounds like you have an amazing series going there for the readers. So I think it's kind of neat. It's that kind of science fiction yet Christian spiritual melded into one, which is, I think, kind of nice to have on its own because there are not many people that are going to write that way, and I think that makes yours so unique. Where can readers purchase your books? I know you probably have your own website, which is rosemaryalthoff.com, but can they also order from other places as well?
They're mainly sold on Amazon. You
Okay.
can buy them at Target. They used to be with Barnes and Noble, but they got misfiled as small children's books, and they are definitely for adults, although they don't have cursing, explicit sex, and all that. They're definitely
Right.
for adults.
Well, wonderful. I really would like to take this opportunity to thank you for being on the show today because you have really and not only enriched me and I'm sure the viewers as well about your journey and how you've taken it into your writing and produced some wonderful literature.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So again, readers, if you are looking, you like that science fiction and yet you want that spiritual connection too, take a look at some of Rosemary's writing. You'd start off with The Hot Marble, and then we will also bring up her second book right here, which is called The Chamber, and then you'll finish off with the final book, which is entitled let's see, what is the third one is Silence, The Horned Edge. And then the fourth book, is that Silence to Singing? Is that going to be your
That's
fourth?
correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
so 4. That's fabulous that the readers can really indulge in. So Rosemary, we thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you for your in-depth questions.
You are
I
more
appreciate
than
that.
welcome. This is Hope Roski with Central Valley Talk, Briggs on Books.
Yay.